protection. Okay. Cause I'll fuck your night up.
Bro, man, bro, I'm telling you. Turn up, bro. I'm telling you.
Turn up then. What the fuck? Think I care about that?
Man, you should have heard the fuck up. Now you got these motherfuckers out here fucking with me.
Heck, you is. Stay over there.
You parked
Turn
behind
around.
me. I asked him, no, I ain't turning around.
Turn around.
I'm not turning around.
You gonna turn around?
Come on, bro.
Cave! Get down!
Put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back. Hands behind your back.
Call resistance. Hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back!
Shalom. First off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakadash, Yahweh being the true name for the Heavenly Father, Yahushai being named for his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls God, and Jesus Christ. I want to give double honors to our apostles, double honors to our elders, a great millstone, that taught us truth and will well, and citation to hopefully I person this truth and honesty, sincerity. This is Billy Wasap, because you know, listen to the spirit power, Yahweh Yahushai, and this lessons to the spirit, dissecting this video. We got a Jake that infringes, and the caption on the video says Genesis Israelites. You know, so if you don't know, Genesis was a spinoff off of Sakari. They basically operate the same way. You know, but there's a couple things wrong. For one, is not knowing how to properly conduct yourself as an Israelite in this truth, not having proper guidance, you know, to where you can avoid situations like this where you're getting arrested in this manner. And two, you know, the fact that Jake walks around here in the blue borders and fringes and thinks that that's something that is going to get him salvation, you know, which you're not in sin for wearing blue borders and fringes, but it's not exactly circumspect, you know, to walk around in that right now on all of your attire in your everyday t-shirt and clothing. Okay, yes, we had commandments to, you know, put borders of blue and fringes on our garments, but there's other scriptures which we'll get out as well that speak about being a Jew inwardly and not outwardly, and also being wise as serpents and harmless as doves. You know, you got to be circumspect. So it's not exactly wise to be walking around here, you know, in that type of attire and conduct yourself in a manner where you're getting put on camera being arrested like this. You know, Jake gonna have to learn the hard way, man. So we're going to get into it, man. One of just the first main problem here is you have to understand that we are basically sheep in the midst of wolves as Israelites in general, period. So when you're in the way or in the path of our enemies, you have to be able to move, and you have to be able to utilize something called verbal judo. Is a term that when I was in the military, they taught us with the type of job that I had, you know, of verbal judo, being able to talk your way calmly, respectful manner, peacefully to get out of certain situations, not escalating up and using escalating words to make matters worse. You know, you should never be in a position where you're arguing back and forth with a cop. In the ancient world, they called them centurions. Okay. And you have to remember that this whole force, the police force, was created originally as a slave patrol. So they're not your friends, and they're not typically for your best interests. Yeah, you got some decent cops, maybe they're doing a job how they're supposed to, you know, that's not out here just to get people, but, you know, they just here to, they generally maybe want to help protect somebody, but for the most part, they see a nigga, you know, you're already at a disadvantage automatically. Okay, you're already being judged and looked at as a thug no matter what, or you know, in different racial oppression ways that they look at us as general as a people. Okay, so there's some scriptures that this guy could have applied to for himself to avoid this. Okay, because it definitely got to a point to where he's sitting here in front of the cop. You was doing some shit, man. You shouldn't be. It shouldn't have got this damn far, man. You got to be wise. Okay. So let's get some precepts. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 25. It says, "Agree with thine adversary quickly." Agree with thine adversary quickly. Our adversary is obviously Esau, Edom. But also it goes into his government system and his police force as well. They also could be counted as our adversary. I mean, look at the police brutality on so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That's just facts, man. Okay? Look who's all in the prison systems. You are definitely, a prey. You're preyed upon. So you got to identify who your adversary is, and if they're coming up to you, especially if they're ones of authority, such as police, just be cordial, be respectful, and keep it legal terms with them. Let your language be short, sweet to the point, and know your rights till you can get out of that situation as fast as possible. Okay, it says, "While thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison." Right, so it tells you when you're in the way with him, you need to agree quickly. So whatever the story was going on, he got hemmed up. You should have agreed quickly, man. Not argue back and forth. You got the cop raising his voice, talking about, turn up, turn up. He's just telling him, turn up. Those are words, escalating words. Give them what they ask for. If they ask for your identification, okay, am I saying so-and-so, blah, 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 I'm here, boom, I'm not doing anything wrong. Yes, sir, yes, officer, boom, boom, boom. Well, you need to come with me. We need to talk to you about this. Know your rights and agree quickly, man. Just cooperate, man. A lot of times, them police officers, they just want you to fucking cooperate, man. And I have experience in the law enforcement from past jobs in the world, so I understand the system and their training and what they're supposed to do. And I'm telling you right now, for the most part, you can avoid situations and get out of it if you just cooperate, man. Be cool with them. Be cool with them, cooperate, speak quickly, short, sweet, very few words, answer questions, be polite, and get out of there. It says, "Agree with thine adversary quickly while thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison." Right? You can end up in jail. You can end up in jail, man. So Jake got to learn that. A lot of times if you get pulled over, how many tickets I done got out of, man? I done been in situations where I could have been, been written up severely and just straight up got out of it. Because I was like, dude was cool. He was respectful. Arguing with these motherfuckers is not the way to go, man. This is Matthew 10:16. It says, "Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves." Right, man. So we are sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise, be as smart as a snake, but harmless as a dove. Snakes are very cunning predators. How to seek out their prey. They wait for the perfect moment to strike. They don't have any arms and legs, so they have to maneuver a way throughout navigating through their world with wisdom. Okay? And learn how to use Esau as far as his police force. Sick them on people, man. That's another thing too. The wolves don't always have to be police officers. It can be regular Edomites. Be ready to quickly call the cops on the motherfucker. Call the cops on a damn a wicked woman that's trying to get you hemmed up, because you got situations like that too. Most men that's in prison right now is over a woman. They will get you sent to jail. They will antagonize you. They will push you over your boiling point and try to get you to do some things that can get you arrested. Just sick Esau on them, man. So fuck it. Call the cops. They're going to call you a bitch. You're not a bitch for calling the police, man. Just using wisdom. Okay? Yeah, be as men and defend yourself when the time is necessary. If somebody's physically putting hands on you, defend yourself. But you should always be the first one to dial 911. That's just words of advice. Always be the first one to dial 911. Okay? Just use the world, but don't abuse it, man. We're sheep. You're not a wolf, man. We are sheep in the midst of wolves. So you got to be smart, man, and be harmless. That's another thing in the video. Jake was, trying to fight back on the officer, man. He told him, turn around. Just turn around, man. Fight it in court later. You know your rights. You can get an attorney if you need to, whatever situation it is. And maybe Yahweh Shai might come through and defend you in court and get you out of that situation. But just agree quickly, man. Now, unless it's something like life-threatening and, officers just has straight intentions on killing you and you out in the fucking boondocks somewhere, way off in the country, and all of a sudden for sure that their intention is to lynch your ass and kill you. Okay, defend yourself and do what you got to do. But in most cases, in a public situation like this, they look like it was in front of Walmart. It ain't even nothing like that going down, man. Okay? So be smart. This is Matthew 26:49. It says, and forthwith he came to Yahushua and said, Hail, Master, and kissed him. And Yahushua said unto him, Friend, wherefore art thou come? Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him. So Judas basically betrayed him. So they're coming to hem him up, right? So back in the ancient world, this would have been your modern day cops, police officers. They came to arrest Yahushua, laid hands on him, and were basically in modern day cuffed him and took him. They're getting ready to take him to prison, right? Verse 51, it says, and behold, one of them which were with Yahushua stretched out his hand and drew his sword and struck a servant of the high priestess and smote off his ear. Okay, so he cut one of Yahushua's men, cut the dude's ear off, man, with the sword. So he, was about to smoke, fighting. Verse 52 says, then said Yahushua unto him, put up again thy sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. Right, man. So we don't walk around, when we're prophesying at the highways and hedges and intend on using weapons against police officers. No, man. We don't come with sticks to camp. None of that shit. Or have weapons that we bring to camp that we intend on using on bystanders that might come by and become a scoffer and scorner. That's not the spirit to be in. Okay? So you got to make sure that you're remembering this precept. Don't be living by that sword. Now, had that situation in that video you seen, had that Jake, had a gun on him and pulled it out, he would have lost his life. Hands down. When you could have avoided all that by, number one, not arguing with the damn police. If they tell you leave the store or they have some questions about, to ask you, answer your questions and fucking go about your business. That's all you got to do. But Jake want to get riled up and fight and shit. Maybe he might have been falsely accused of stealing something. Okay, well, calmly answer their questions and say, hey, look, I'd like to see the footage, the security footage. If I stole something and they got it on camera, let me see it. You feel free to search me. I don't have anything in my person. And they would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, my bad. It's a mistake. Have a good day. Simple, Jake. That's all you got to do. So that's just the words of wisdom on the part of, dealing with the police officers. The next thing I want to address is the fringes. Okay. This is Romans 2:29. It says, but he is a Jew, which is one inwardly, and the circumcision that of the heart in the spirit and not in letter, whose praise is not of man, but of Yahweh. Okay. So you want to be knowing that you're a Jew, which is another word for Judah, okay, which basically saying that you're an Israelite. Know that you're an Israelite inwardly, within your heart, within your mind. You know who you are, okay? But not to get praise of men. So some people, look for some type of validation, or people want to look upon their fringes. Oh, you must be an Israelite, shalom, yeah, and be all proud about that. Hey, that's not the right spirit to be in, man. Going back to verse 28, it says, for he is not a Jew, which is one outwardly, neither is that circumcision, which is outward in the flesh. Okay? So you shouldn't be outwardly out trying to, show who you are and what you're about. Now there is law, statute, commandments on the blue borders and fringes. We can get that. This is Numbers 15:38. So speak unto the children of Israel and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations. And they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. So it's a custom of having a blue border and fringes on our garments to identify that we're Israelites, and what the fringes purpose of is to help us remember the law, statutes, commandments. That's what the fringes represent. Okay? Now, you can still do this, but just be smart, just like we brought out that last precept. Be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. Okay, we're in the midst of wolves. So it might not be smart to be in the midst of wolves and let everybody know that you're an Israelite, because once that knowledge is straight out there, and we are already identified. They call us black identity, extremists and things like that, and they identify us as a T word. So that's what the public perception of you is as a Hebrew Israelite. They look at that and say, oh, he's one of those. So now you're gonna have a cop automatically gonna treat you some type of way. Okay, so that's not smart. So yeah, still wear them, but it might be more wise to wear them while you're out prophesying, man. Just wear them when you got your garments. We're in a priestly, our sackcloth, and we're prophesying. That's the time where it's smart to wear them. Or maybe you're in your own home and you're comfortable, and you got a nice shirt. Maybe you ordered whatever, and you just like the way it looks, and you're in your home comfortability of your home. Wear it then. You don't got to wear that on every single one of your garments. Now, this commandment was given to us during a time period where, we had our freedom. We weren't under bondage when this was issued out unto us. We weren't being headhunted or anything like that. Right now, if you're out in public, hey, they know about Hebrew Israelites. Hey, we got a bad name. So it ain't smart to be walking around with that on. And then, especially if you get in an altercation or something like that, and now even further, that it gives them more justification to associate us with, violent people and things like that. That's the narrative that our enemies is painting of us. So it ain't smart to do that, man. You don't have to be feeling guilty if you're walking around without fringes, because, first coming to this truth, that's one of the things that's taught. We come into the knowledge of our history, and they see this scripture, say, oh, man, I'm supposed to have fringes all on my garments. I've been going off. No, you haven't been going off, man. Okay? I mean, now you're going off if you're out prophesying at the highways and hedges, and you're not keeping this at all. Okay, that's a difference, because we're commanded to put on sackcloth, and a part of the attire is having the blue borders and fringes. There's a specific dress code that's given when you're prophesying. You're supposed to have humility, and you're supposed to have sackcloth, and then you go ahead and throw on the blue border and fringes on the bottom. There you go, man. It's very simple. But Jake will take the scripture and will, start looking it down upon and use it to put other Israelites down that are new, that are just coming up to inquire and learn, and say, well, where your fridges at? Where your fridges at? They're in the wrong spirit, man. This is Matthew 23:5. It says, but all their works they do for to be seen of men. They make broad their phylacteries and enlarge the borders of their garments. So you got some camps out there, they got overly extravagant garments. Shoulder pads and gold and purple and all these, or green. Just going all out, man. That's unnecessary. Revelation 11:3 says, and I will give power unto my 2 witnesses, and they shall prophesy 1,203 days, clothed in sackcloth. These are the 2 olive trees and the 2 candlesticks standing before Yahweh of the earth. So it represents the northern kingdom and southern kingdom, all the Hebrew Israelites, and they prophesy in sackcloth. Okay? And you're supposed to be teaching, with the level of humility, especially in your appearance. You shouldn't be all, shouldn't be any sense of pride out there. The Lord hates that spirit of pride. Be humble. We're crying out for deliverance. And we're also letting people know their transgression and sins. And it's going to attract the right people that are sincerely want to learn, because there's nothing to basically get their attention with in a carnal way. See, when you're out there looking all flashy, people want to come inquire and learn from you. They're from attention. Oh, this person looks cool. I want to look cool like that. So that's the wrong mindset to come up and want to inquire. Versus when you're humble and you just have a rough garment on, what does it force them to pay attention to? The words that you're speaking and what's in your hand, which is in scriptures. So a person's coming up to learn from the scriptures versus coming to look fancy or look fly and want to join a club. It's the same thing with a woman dressing modest. When a woman is covered, she's modest. She has her hair wrapped up, her figure is covered, not showing. A man is forced to just look into her eyes. He's not looking at her, her figure to lust to sleep with her. He's going to pay attention. Her beauty might catch his attention, and there's no other distractions. He's able to actually have a decent conversation with her. Okay? It's the same thing when you're prophesying and you're conducting yourself out in this world. So just wanted to speak on that video, man. Speak on, the fact that the guy got fringes out in public like that, and you're getting arrested with the fringes on. And the fact that you're getting arrested, period, and you got to get slammed and get your ass kicked because you ain't agreeing quickly, man. So Lord's will is edifying. I'm going to close out and give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem HaKadosh, the bonus our apostles and elders, great millstone, and taught us truth and will well, and citations to you, hopefully like pushing this truth and honesty, sincerity. Shalom.